Welcome to another episode of Poke Mitchell Podcast. And we got another good one. You know, man, I spent some time in Vegas about a week ago. And, man, met one of my uncles. Man, he had a lot of insight about a lot of things, man. I learned so much from him, man. Look, you can learn a lot from our elders, man, if you just sit back and just listen to them. You know, take time to listen to them. And I guarantee you will learn a lot, like I did. Us black folk, man. I hate keep saying or mentioning that we behind. There's so much information out there, but there's nothing like getting, that straightforward information from your folks. Somebody that been there. Somebody that done that. And also know the history. And so I want you guys to pay attention to this special message that my uncle shared with
me. They switched it over about 60 years ago by the laws, but the reality of it didn't happen until the mid-70s. So you got 10 years that went by, the first 10 years of the civil rights, they was thinking. But at that point in time, they was trying to crush it back then. It was white people that was under this organization called the John Birch Society. Those crackers was real. They put together a whole plan on how to put us back to where we were before Brown versus Board of Education, which was 1954. Now, in 1954, what they did with them, Brown v. Board of Education, that became an issue because that gave segregation a chance to be thwarted down, because in America, see, you gotta understand us as a people, man. If we stop and look at that, there was a 1896 case called Plessy v. Ferguson. And with that case, the Supreme Court ruled that it's separate but equal. It's cool. That began this thing called Jim Crow. And we gotta go, because I'm saying it ain't, and I know everybody, it's boring as hell history, but make that shit come alive and put that where we need to see, how we need to see it. Because we do need to see it. I mean, that's the problem. We don't. And we ain't bringing it in, realizing that, 100 years, now I'm 70-some years old, I realize if I double my 70 years back, I'm back at 170 and 70, I'm back as a slave. Man, that's real time. I'm 70, I go back to my 70, 1953, back off 70 years off of that. I'm in 1881. At that time, they was getting rid of what they call Reconstruction. Reconstruction was what they tried in the 1960s. Because after the Civil War in the 1865, the Civil War ended. Reconstruction was what they tried in the 1960s. Because after the Civil War in the 1865, the Civil War ended. But then they turned around and they shot Abe Lincoln, being a nigger lover. All right? He freed them niggas. They wasn't trying. And the president that was his vice president that took over was a man named Andrew Johnson. And ironically enough, Congress saw a need to put together something. That's where the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, that's where they come from. And what that means, well, that meant that you wasn't going to be a slave no more, 13. 14 meant that you got a little due process and you were natural born citizen. And 15 was due rights. You had rights. Finally. Because in 1857, before that, 3 years before the Civil War kicked off, they decided that black people, no black person had any rights that a white man had to respect. In other words, a white man that had no black white man could respect a black man's rights. Is basically what it is, to break it down in real terms so everybody understands it. Because they complicated to hide what's really there. And they need to break it down in English so a plain person, because everybody ain't stupid, they hear, they understand, they hear, they understand it. But they put all this. In fact, the thing that used to trick me was Latin back in the day. And back when I was young going to school, I was coming up, they was trying to get you to learn some dead man's language, and I don't know Swahili. I mean, come on. You know, took that tongue from me, and then when I go, I don't even have a tongue. You tell me you from Italy, and you go back to Italy. The other guy, I was speaking on the dude in the train. He told me he was giving me his heritage, his European heritage. All right, so we broke it down. We sitting there having a conversation. I talked to this dude from Flagstaff all the way to Kingman, Arizona. We sat there for 8, 7. I ain't never known. He was farmer in Wisconsin, total Trump supporter. All right, and I'm sitting there kicking it with this dude, you know, because again, people are people, you know. But he's sitting there telling me, and I'm telling him how ridiculous you sound with that bullshit you talking about. And, you know, explain to him that dude is a serious kind man. I mean, he's the best, that nigga's the best man I've ever seen. Ain't nobody better than that. Come on, look at this dude, man, who he really is.